Discipline, a word often associated with rigidity, self-control, and willpower. We're led to believe that discipline is about suppressing our desires, resisting temptations, and pushing through discomfort until we achieve our goals. But is this really what discipline is all about? As we explore the paradox of discipline, we'll uncover a more nuanced understanding of what it means to be disciplined. One that's not about imposing harsh rules or forcing ourselves into a predetermined mold, but rather about cultivating a deeper relationship with ourselves and our values. Traditional approaches to discipline often rely on external motivation, rewards, punishments, deadlines, to drive us forward, but these methods can be flawed. They create an inner conflict between what we want to do and what we feel compelled to do. We might achieve short-term success, but at the cost of long-term burnout and disillusionment. In this section, we'll delve into the myth that discipline is solely about self-control and willpower. We'll examine how traditional approaches can lead to failure and introduce a more compassionate, holistic approach that prioritizes our well-being over external expectations. By exploring the paradox of discipline, we'll begin to see that true growth and transformation come not from forcing ourselves into predetermined paths, but from embracing our complexities and learning to navigate them with kindness and understanding. This is just the beginning of our journey as we work together to reclaim our inner sense of direction and purpose. In this next segment of our exploration into the nature of discipline, we're going to delve deeper into the paradox that lies at its core. As we've already touched on in previous sections, traditional approaches to discipline often rely on external motivators, rewards, punishments, and deadlines. But what happens when these methods don't yield the desired results? When we feel drained, burned out, or stuck, it's time to re-examine our understanding of what discipline truly means. Discipline is not merely about exerting willpower over ourselves. Rather, it's a multifaceted approach that acknowledges our complexities and limitations. It involves cultivating self-awareness, acknowledging our inner struggles, and developing compassion for ourselves as we navigate through life's challenges. Let's take a closer look at the myth that discipline solely relies on self-control. This notion is deeply ingrained in many of us. We believe that if only we could muster enough willpower, we'd be able to overcome any obstacle. However, this approach neglects the intricate web of factors influencing our behavior, including emotional, psychological, and environmental elements. By perpetuating this myth, we inadvertently create a culture of shame and guilt around failure. When we inevitably encounter setbacks, we're left feeling like we've let ourselves down, that we haven't lived up to our own expectations. But what if, instead of beating ourselves up over mistakes, we could reframe them as opportunities for growth? This is where the more compassionate approach comes in, one that prioritizes our inner development over external pressures. It's an approach that acknowledges the intricate dance between our internal experiences and the world around us. By embracing this paradoxical relationship, we can begin to cultivate a sense of discipline that is not rooted in rigidity or self-control, but rather in understanding and kindness towards ourselves. As we move forward in our exploration, let's keep in mind that true growth arises from acknowledging our complexities with compassion. We'll continue to unpack the intricacies of discipline, shedding light on the importance of cultivating self-awareness, embracing imperfection, and integrating discipline into our daily lives. The paradox of discipline, exploring the myth of self-control as we navigate the complexities of discipline. It's essential to acknowledge that traditional approaches often fall short. The notion that discipline is solely about suppressing desires and pushing through discomfort has led many to believe that the key to success lies in sheer willpower. However, this perspective neglects the intricate web of emotional, psychological, and environmental factors influencing behavior. Imagine trying to build a house on shaky ground. You can pour all your energy into constructing the walls, but without a solid foundation, the structure will inevitably crumble. Similarly, attempting to discipline ourselves without acknowledging our inner landscape is like trying to force a square peg into a round hole. It may look impressive at first, but ultimately, it will collapse. True growth and transformation come from embracing complexities and learning to navigate them with kindness and understanding. Discipline, in this sense, is not about suppressing desires or pushing through discomfort. Rather, it's about cultivating self-awareness and compassion. By acknowledging our limitations and acknowledging the factors that influence behavior, we can develop a more nuanced approach to discipline. Let's challenge the myth that discipline solely relies on self-control. This notion perpetuates shame and guilt around failure, making it harder to learn from mistakes. Instead, imagine embracing imperfection as an essential step towards growth and learning. This shift in perspective can liberate us from the burden of self-criticism and allow us to approach challenges with a more open and receptive mindset. In the next section, we'll delve into unpacking internal confusion, exploring common sources of inner turmoil, and discussing strategies for acknowledging and accepting our feelings. Let's dive into Section 2, Unpacking Internal Confusion. This is where we explore the complexities of our own minds and the ways in which internal confusion can hold us back from achieving our goals. Internal confusion arises when our thoughts, emotions, and values are at odds with each other. We may feel pulled in different directions, unsure of what truly matters or what path to take. This confusion can manifest as self-doubt, anxiety, or procrastination, making it challenging to move forward. One common source of internal confusion is conflicting goals. Perhaps we're trying to achieve multiple objectives simultaneously without considering how they align with our core values and motivations. For instance, we might be striving for success in a particular career, while also wanting to prioritize family time or pursue creative interests. These competing demands can create a sense of inner turmoil. Self-doubt is another contributor to internal confusion. We may second-guess ourselves, wondering if we're capable of achieving our goals or if we've made the right choices. This self-doubt can lead to indecision and inaction as we struggle to trust ourselves and our abilities. Anxiety and fear are also common causes of internal confusion. We might worry about the potential consequences of failure or fear that we're not good enough or talented enough to succeed. These fears can hold us back from taking risks and pursuing our goals with confidence. To begin unpacking internal confusion, it's essential to acknowledge and accept these feelings rather than trying to suppress them. By doing so, we create space for reflection and exploration. Ask yourself, what are my true values and motivations? Are they aligned with my current goals and pursuits? Where am I feeling stuck or uncertain? Take a moment to breathe into these questions, allowing yourself to settle into the present moment. As you reflect on your internal state, remember that it's okay not to have all the answers. In fact, embracing uncertainty can be a powerful step towards growth and self-awareness. Now, let's pause for a moment. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, allow any tension or resistance to release. You are exactly where you need to be, with the complexities of your internal world unfolding before you. Stay here for a moment longer. This audiobook isn't meant to rush you, it's meant to meet you exactly where you are. As we continue exploring internal confusion, remember that it's not something to be ashamed of or overcome. Rather, it's an opportunity to develop greater self-awareness and compassion for yourself. By acknowledging the intricate dance between your thought, emotions, and values, you'll begin to uncover new insights and perspectives that can help guide you towards a more authentic and fulfilling path. In the next section, we'll delve deeper into cultivating self-awareness as a key component of discipline. This involves developing mindfulness, journaling, and reflection techniques to better understand your motivations, values, and inner experiences. But for now, take a moment to settle into this exploration of internal confusion, allowing yourself to fully absorb its complexity and nuance. Remember, the goal is not to rush past these complexities or try to overcome them through sheer willpower. Rather, it's to meet them with curiosity, compassion, and an openness to learning and growth. As we proceed on this journey together, you'll find that internal confusion can actually become a catalyst for deeper understanding and transformation. As we continue our journey through the complexities of discipline, let's delve deeper into the realm of internal confusion. This is an area where many individuals struggle to find clarity and direction. Internal confusion arises from a multitude of sources, including conflicting goals, unclear values, and the pervasive influence of self-doubt. It's as if we're navigating a maze with multiple paths leading in different directions, unsure which one to take. One common source of internal confusion is the presence of competing goals. We may desire to pursue multiple passions or interests, only to find ourselves torn between them. This can lead to feelings of anxiety and indecision, making it challenging to make progress towards our objectives. Another factor contributing to internal confusion is self-doubt. When we're plagued by negative thoughts and uncertainty about our abilities, it's natural to question our choices and second-guess ourselves. This can create a sense of paralysis, preventing us from taking action or moving forward with confidence. Procrastination often accompanies self-doubt, as we may put off decisions or tasks due to fear of failure or making the wrong choice. This avoidance can lead to feelings of guilt and shame, further exacerbating internal confusion. It's essential to acknowledge and accept these emotions rather than trying to suppress them. By doing so, we create space for self-reflection and exploration, allowing us to better understand our motivations and values. To move forward, it's crucial to develop a compassionate attitude towards ourselves and our struggles. This involves recognizing that internal confusion is an inherent part of the growth process and not a reflection of our worth or abilities. As we work through these complexities, remember that you're not alone in this journey. Many individuals have navigated similar challenges, emerging stronger and wiser as a result. By embracing imperfection and uncertainty, we can develop a more nuanced understanding of discipline and cultivate self-awareness and compassion. Now take a moment to reflect on your own internal struggles. What are the sources of confusion that arise for you? How can you begin to address these challenges with greater kindness and understanding? As we continue to explore the complexities of internal confusion, let's examine how self-doubt and anxiety can perpetuate feelings of being stuck. It's common to feel overwhelmed by the demands placed upon us, whether it's from external expectations or our own inner critics. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads, unsure which path to take. The voices in your head are loud and conflicting, each one shouting different instructions. This internal cacophony can make it difficult to discern what truly matters to you, leading to feelings of confusion and indecision. To begin untangling this web of self-doubt, let's acknowledge that these feelings are normal and valid. It's essential to recognize that your inner critic is not a reflection of your worth or abilities. Rather, it's an opportunity for growth and exploration. As you reflect on the sources of internal confusion in your life, consider the following. Are there conflicting goals or values that are causing tension within? Are there unresolved emotions or unmet needs that need attention? Take a moment to breathe into these questions, allowing yourself to gently explore each one. Remember, the goal is not to resolve everything at once, but to acknowledge and accept where you're at. As we move forward, keep in mind that internal confusion can be an essential part of growth and learning. By embracing this complexity, rather than trying to control or suppress it, we may find ourselves more open to new possibilities and insights. As we continue our journey of cultivating discipline and self-awareness, it's essential to explore the concept of mindfulness and its role in increasing our understanding of ourselves. Mindfulness is often misunderstood as a practice reserved for meditation or yoga enthusiasts, but its applications extend far beyond these contexts. Imagine being able to approach tasks with greater clarity, making decisions that align with your values, and navigating challenging situations with ease. This is the potential offered by mindfulness. By cultivating awareness in the present moment, you'll become more attuned to your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. Let's examine how journaling and reflection can be powerful tools for increasing self-awareness. By dedicating time to writing down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences, you'll begin to notice patterns and connections that may have gone unnoticed before. This heightened awareness will enable you to make more informed decisions and align your actions with your values. It's also crucial to discuss the importance of boundaries and maintaining emotional integrity. Boundaries serve as a protective measure against external influences that can drain our energy and compromise our well-being. By establishing clear limits, you'll be better equipped to manage stress, prioritize self-care, and maintain a sense of balance in your life. As we delve deeper into cultivating self-awareness, keep in mind that this process is not about forcing changes or pushing yourself too hard. Rather, it's about acknowledging your current state, accepting areas for growth, and taking gentle steps towards greater understanding. In the next part, we'll explore alternative approaches to goal setting, focusing on progress over perfection and embracing intrinsic motivation as a catalyst for sustainable success. As we continue our exploration of cultivating self-awareness, let's turn our attention to mindfulness and its role in increasing our understanding of ourselves. Mindfulness is often misunderstood as a practice that requires stillness for quiet contemplation, but it can be applied anywhere at any time. Its purpose is not to quiet the mind, but rather to bring awareness to every moment. We can begin by observing our thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations without judgment. This doesn't mean we need to change them. Simply acknowledging their presence allows us to develop a greater understanding of ourselves. Take a deep breath in, feeling the sensation of air moving through your body, and then exhale slowly, noticing any changes. Journaling and reflection are also essential tools for cultivating self-awareness. By regularly writing down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences, you can identify patterns and gain insight into what drives your behavior. Ask yourself questions like, what am I grateful for? What am I struggling with? What do I value most in life? As we explore these practices further, keep in mind that they are not meant to create a sense of discipline or rigidity, but rather to help you develop a deeper understanding of yourself and your place within the world. The key is to approach these practices with kindness and compassion, acknowledging that growth and self-awareness are lifelong journeys. Take a moment to pause and reflect on what has been discussed so far in this audiobook. How have your thoughts about discipline and self-awareness changed? What insights have you gained from our exploration of mindfulness and journaling? Allow yourself to settle into these new perspectives, trusting that they will continue to unfold as we move forward. Cultivating self-awareness, mindfulness, and reflection as we navigate the complexities of our inner lives. It's essential to develop a deeper understanding of ourselves. This involves cultivating self-awareness, the ability to observe your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without judgment or attachment. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for increasing self-awareness. By bringing awareness to every moment, you can begin to see patterns and habits that may be holding you back. Mindfulness practices such as meditation, deep breathing, and yoga can help you develop greater insight into your motivations, values, and inner experiences. However, mindfulness alone is not enough. To truly cultivate self-awareness, we must also engage in reflection, the process of examining our thoughts, feelings, and actions to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves. One effective way to practice reflection is through journaling. By writing down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences, you can begin to identify patterns and areas for improvement. Journaling can help you clarify your values, goals, and motivations, allowing you to make more informed decisions about your life. Another key aspect of self-awareness is emotional integrity, the ability to acknowledge and accept your emotions, rather than suppressing or denying them. By developing greater emotional awareness, you can learn to respond to challenging situations with clarity and compassion, rather than reacting impulsively. As you cultivate self-awareness through mindfulness and reflection, remember that this process is not about achieving perfection. It's about embracing the present moment just as it is. By letting go of expectations and judgments, you can begin to see yourself and your life with greater clarity and compassion. In the next part, we'll explore how to integrate self-awareness into daily life, using practical strategies for incorporating mindfulness and reflection into your routines. As we continue on our journey of rethinking discipline, let's explore how traditional approaches to goal setting can sometimes lead us astray. We've been conditioned to believe that setting specific, measurable goals is the key to success. But what if I told you that this approach can actually be counterproductive? When we set rigid, outcome-based goals, we create a sense of obligation and pressure to perform. This can lead to feelings of anxiety, stress, and burnout. We start to focus on achieving the goal at all costs, rather than enjoying the process of growth and learning. In contrast, focusing on progress over perfection allows us to cultivate a sense of curiosity and wonder. We begin to see our journey as an opportunity for exploration and discovery, rather than a destination to be reached. This mindset shift can help us stay motivated and engaged, even when faced with setbacks or challenges. Let's explore what this looks like in practice. Imagine you're working on a project that requires significant creativity and skill building. Rather than setting a specific goal, such as I will complete 10 high-quality paintings by the end of the month, try rephrasing it to focus on progress. I will dedicate 2 hours each day to painting, allowing myself to explore different techniques and styles without judgment. By shifting our focus from outcome to process, we can tap into a deeper sense of intrinsic motivation. We begin to enjoy the journey for its own sake rather than solely for the end result. This approach also allows us to be more compassionate with ourselves, acknowledging that setbacks and failures are an inevitable part of growth. As you continue on your path towards integrating discipline into your life, remember that it's not about achieving perfection. It's about embracing imperfection as a necessary step towards learning and growth. By letting go of rigid goals and expectations, we can cultivate a sense of freedom and joy in our pursuit of progress. As we continue our journey towards cultivating discipline, let's turn our attention to rethinking goals and expectations. In this section, we'll challenge traditional notions of goal setting and explore alternative approaches that prioritize progress over perfection. One of the most common pitfalls when setting goals is the emphasis on specific, measurable objectives. While having clear targets can be motivating, it often leads to an overly rigid approach, where every step towards the goal feels like a failure if not perfectly executed. This mindset breeds anxiety and self-doubt, causing us to become mired in fear of making mistakes. Instead, let's consider focusing on intrinsic motivation, driving ourselves forward from within. What are our deepest desires? What values do we hold most dear? By aligning our goals with these inner drives, we create a sense of purpose that transcends external validation or pressure. We begin to see each step towards our goal as an opportunity for growth and learning, rather than a means to achieve some predetermined endpoint. This shift in perspective doesn't mean abandoning all structure or organization. Rather, it invites us to approach goal setting with a more fluid mindset, one that acknowledges the unpredictability of life while still holding space for intentionality and direction. As we explore this new terrain, remember that our expectations are not set in stone. They're malleable, like clay waiting to be shaped by our experiences and discoveries. By embracing this flexibility, we free ourselves from the constraints of rigid goal setting, allowing us to move with greater ease and spontaneity. The path ahead will undoubtedly involve setbacks and detours, but it's precisely in these moments that we have a choice to become entangled in frustration or to pause, reassess, and redirect our course. By cultivating this inner agility, the capacity to adapt and evolve alongside life's twists and turns, we strengthen our resolve and develop the resilience needed to achieve lasting success. As we move forward, remember that progress is not a straight line, but rather an unfolding tapestry of experiences, insights, and discoveries. Our goals will morph and transform as we grow, reflecting the ever-changing landscape within us. By aligning ourselves with this organic process, we create space for growth, learning, and continuous improvement, cultivating discipline in its most profound and liberating form. As we navigate our lives with greater awareness and discipline, it's essential to revisit our goals and expectations. So far, we've explored the concept of intrinsic motivation and prioritizing progress over perfection. Now, let's dive deeper into rethinking our approach to goal setting. Traditionally, setting specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound SMART goals has been touted as a recipe for success. However, this approach often leads to frustration and burnout when we fail to meet our lofty expectations. Instead of trying to hit precise targets, consider focusing on the journey itself. What are your core values and motivations? How do you want to grow and evolve over time? Intrinsic motivation is not about achieving a specific outcome. It's about cultivating a deep sense of purpose and meaning. When we're driven by our true passions and desires, we're more likely to stay committed to our goals without feeling overwhelmed or burned out. To make this shift, try adopting a good enough approach. Rather than striving for perfection, aim for progress. Celebrate your small victories, no matter how insignificant they may seem. Recognize that growth is often messy and unpredictable, and that's okay. As you reevaluate your goals, ask yourself, what would I do if fear or doubt were not holding me back? What truly excites and motivates me? How can I align my actions with my values and passions? If your thoughts drift, that's completely fine. Gently return to the sound of this narration and continue listening. In our next section, we'll explore how to integrate self-care and discipline into daily life, but for now take a moment to reflect on your goals and expectations. What changes can you make today to align yourself with your true desires? Reclaiming time and energy, managing priorities and focus. As we navigate our lives, it's easy to get caught up in the daily grind, feeling like we're constantly juggling multiple tasks, responsibilities, and expectations. We might feel like we're drowning in a sea of obligations, struggling to keep our heads above water. But what if I told you that there's a way to reclaim your time and energy, a way to prioritize what truly matters, focus on the essential tasks, and avoid the unnecessary distractions? The key lies not in adding more tools or techniques to your arsenal, but rather in understanding how to use the ones you already have. Let's explore this concept further. Prioritization. When was the last time you took a step back and really assessed what needed to be done? Not just listing tasks, but truly prioritizing them based on their importance and urgency? Try making a list of your top 3 goals for the day, week, or month. Now rank each item from most important to least. Be honest with yourself, what's truly essential versus what can wait. By focusing on high-priority tasks first, you'll make significant progress toward your objectives without wasting time and energy on non-essential activities. The power of batching. Think about it. When was the last time you did something that required intense focus for an extended period? Maybe it was a long project at work, or perhaps it was a challenging personal goal. You know what often happens in these situations? You get into a state of flow, fully engaged and immersed in the task. Time flies by as you become completely absorbed. Now imagine applying this concept to your daily tasks. Batching refers to grouping similar activities together, allowing you to focus on each one without interruption or distraction. For example, instead of checking email constantly throughout the day, set aside a specific time block for responding to messages. This will help you stay focused and avoid context switching fatigue. Energy management. What do you do when your energy levels are low? Do you push through hoping to power through the task at hand? Or do you take a break, trying to recharge before continuing? The truth is, energy management is just as important as time management. By paying attention to your physical and mental well-being, you can optimize your performance and achieve more with less effort. Try incorporating short breaks into your daily routine. Even just 5-10 minutes of stretching or deep breathing can make a significant difference. And when faced with a challenging task, ask yourself, what's the minimum amount of energy required to complete it? By rethinking how you approach time and energy management, you'll unlock new levels of productivity, creativity, and fulfillment in your life. Incorporating mindfulness. As we explore ways to reclaim our time and energy, let's not forget the importance of mindfulness. By being present in each moment, we can better navigate the demands of our lives without getting overwhelmed. Try incorporating mindfulness practices into your daily routine, whether it's meditation, deep breathing, or simply paying attention to your surroundings. This will help you develop a greater sense of awareness and clarity, allowing you to make more intentional decisions about how to allocate your time and energy. Conclusion. Reclaiming your time and energy requires a shift in perspective, not just a new set of tools or techniques. By prioritizing what truly matters, focusing on high-priority tasks, batching similar activities together, managing your energy levels, and incorporating mindfulness practices, you'll be well on your way to achieving more with less effort. Remember, it's not about adding more to your plate. It's about being intentional with what you already have. By doing so, you'll unlock a deeper sense of purpose, fulfillment, and satisfaction in your life. As we continue on our journey of reclaiming time and energy, let's dive deeper into the world of prioritization. Prioritization is often seen as a simple matter of making lists and checking them off. But in reality, it's a complex process that requires us to understand our values, goals, and motivations. When we're faced with multiple tasks or responsibilities, it can be tempting to try and tackle everything at once. This approach is often referred to as multitasking, but research has shown that it's actually counterproductive. When we multitask, we're not doing one task better, we're just doing both poorly. Instead, let's explore the concept of batching. Batching involves grouping similar tasks together and completing them in one session. For example, if you have a bunch of emails to respond to, try to dedicate an entire block of time to responding to those emails, rather than checking your email constantly throughout the day. By batching our tasks, we can reduce the number of transitions between tasks, which can save us up to 40% of productivity. But it's not just about efficiency. Batching also allows us to focus on a single task without distraction, which is essential for making progress and achieving our goals. Now, let's talk about energy management. As individuals, we have unique energy patterns that ebb and flow throughout the day. Understanding these patterns can help us schedule tasks more effectively and avoid burnout. For some people, mornings are the best time to tackle challenging tasks, while others prefer the afternoon or evening. Experiment with different times of day to see when your energy levels are highest, and schedule your most important tasks accordingly. Finally, let's touch on the importance of rest and relaxation in maintaining our energy levels. When we're constantly pushing ourselves without giving ourselves a break, we can burn out quickly. But by incorporating regular breaks into our daily routine, we can recharge our batteries and stay focused for longer periods of time. Incorporating these strategies into your life will not only help you reclaim time and energy, but also give you the momentum to tackle even more challenging tasks and achieve your goals. By prioritizing progress over perfection, focusing on intrinsic motivation, and incorporating mindfulness practices, you'll be well on your way to unlocking new levels of productivity, creativity, and fulfillment in your life. As we continue on our journey of reclaiming time and energy, let's focus on strategies for managing our physical space and environment. A cluttered or disorganized workspace can be a significant drain on mental clarity and productivity. By creating a supportive environment, you'll find that your mind is able to focus more easily on the tasks at hand. One approach to consider is the concept of batching. This involves grouping similar tasks together and completing them in one session. For example, if you're working on a project that requires research, writing, and editing, try devoting an entire day or morning to each of these steps before moving on to the next task. By prioritizing focus over multitasking, you'll find that your energy levels remain consistent throughout the day. This can be especially beneficial when faced with complex tasks that require sustained attention. Remember, it's not about working longer hours, but rather about cultivating a sense of presence and engagement in each moment. In addition to batching, consider implementing habits that promote mental clarity, such as taking regular breaks or practicing mindfulness exercises during your work sessions. By integrating these practices into your daily routine, you'll find that your mind becomes more resilient and better equipped to handle the demands of your tasks. As we move forward on this path of reclaiming time and energy, keep in mind that it's essential to balance structure with flexibility. Don't be too hard on yourself if you encounter setbacks or unexpected interruptions. Instead, focus on adjusting your approach as needed, rather than trying to force a rigid schedule into place. By embracing adaptability and allowing for natural flow, you'll find that your energy levels remain consistent and focused on the present moment. Building supportive environments as we continue our journey towards cultivating discipline and momentum, it's essential to recognize the significant impact that our surroundings have on our behavior and productivity. The environment in which we live, work, and interact with others can either support or hinder our progress. Let's explore some strategies for creating supportive environments that foster growth and discipline. One crucial aspect of building a supportive environment is designing a physical space that promotes focus and productivity. This might involve decluttering your workspace, arranging furniture to minimize distractions, or even incorporating plants to purify the air and boost mood. However, it's not just about the physical surroundings. Our social environments also play a significant role in shaping our behavior. Who we surround ourselves with can either encourage us to grow or hold us back. Consider the people you spend most of your time with. Do they share your values and goals? Do they support and motivate you? Or do they drain your energy? To create a more supportive social environment, it's essential to establish healthy boundaries and communicate your needs clearly. This might involve setting limits on how much time you spend with certain individuals, seeking out new relationships that align with your values, or even taking a break from toxic connections. Another critical aspect of building a supportive environment is creating routines and rituals that promote discipline and momentum. This could involve establishing a consistent morning routine, scheduling dedicated time for focused work, or developing habits that cultivate mindfulness and presence. As you begin to build a more supportive environment, remember that it's not just about creating external systems, it's also about cultivating internal awareness and self-compassion. By acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses, embracing imperfections, and practicing self-care, you'll become more resilient and better equipped to navigate challenges. By integrating these strategies into your daily life, you'll begin to notice significant improvements in your productivity, motivation, and overall well-being. Remember that building a supportive environment is an ongoing process, and it's essential to be patient, flexible, and kind to yourself as you navigate the journey ahead. As we continue our journey towards building supportive environments, let's examine the role of physical space in influencing behavior. Our surroundings can either fuel growth or hinder it. Consider your workspace, home environment, and even social circles. Are they conducive to discipline and momentum, or do they contribute to distractions and complacency? Think about the last time you felt truly focused and productive. Was it in a quiet coffee shop, surrounded by nature, or perhaps at a co-working space with like-minded individuals? Whatever the setting, notice how your surroundings supported your state of mind. Now let's talk about the importance of creating healthy boundaries. As we discussed earlier, prioritizing self-care is essential for maintaining discipline and momentum. This includes setting clear limits with others to protect our time, energy, and focus. Consider a simple yet effective strategy. Communicate your needs clearly and assertively. Whether it's saying no to non-essential commitments or establishing dedicated work hours, remember that boundaries are not about restricting others, but about preserving your own vitality. In your daily life, what are some potential areas where you could establish healthier boundaries? Perhaps it's setting aside device-free time, creating a morning routine that sets a positive tone for the day, or simply taking regular breaks to recharge. Whatever it is, remember that small changes can add up over time. There's no need to understand everything immediately. Just listen and let the meaning arrive gradually in its own time. As we've discussed in previous sections, our environments have a profound impact on our behavior and motivation. In this final part of building supportive environments, let's explore strategies for creating spaces that promote growth, discipline, and well-being. One crucial aspect to consider is the company you keep. Who are the people in your life who inspire, support, and motivate you? Who drains your energy or makes you feel stuck? Take an honest look at your social circles and make intentional decisions about how to nurture relationships that uplift you. Surround yourself with people who share your values and goals, but also respect your boundaries. A supportive community can provide valuable encouragement, accountability, and guidance as you work towards your objectives. Don't be afraid to set clear limits or distance yourself from those who don't contribute positively to your life. Another important aspect of your environment is your workspace. Consider the physical space where you spend most of your time working or studying. Is it cluttered, distracting, or uninviting? Create a peaceful and organized sanctuary that sparks inspiration and productivity. Invest in ergonomic furniture, good lighting, and calming decor to create an atmosphere that fosters focus. Remember, your environment is not just physical, it's also psychological. Pay attention to how you perceive your surroundings and make intentional choices about the messages you want to receive. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals, values, and accomplishments. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small they may seem, to build momentum and confidence. If this audiobook is resonating with you, this channel exists to create more long-form spaces like this designed for thinking, reflecting, and realigning. You're always welcome to say, by creating supportive environments that align with your values and goals, you'll be better equipped to navigate life's challenges and cultivate discipline without feeling suffocated by self-control. Remember, growth happens in moments of ease, not just effort. As we continue on this journey of cultivating discipline and momentum, it's essential to acknowledge that imperfection and failure are an inevitable part of the process. We often view mistakes as evidence of weakness or failure rather than as opportunities for growth and learning. This mindset can lead to self-criticism, anxiety, and a fear of taking risks. When we're afraid to make mistakes, we become hesitant to try new things, innovate, or take bold actions. This stagnation can lead to a sense of being stuck, unsure of how to move forward. The truth is that imperfection and failure are not only acceptable but also necessary for growth and learning. By embracing imperfection, we open ourselves up to the possibility of making mistakes, learning from them, and becoming better versions of ourselves. One way to reframe our relationship with imperfection and failure is to focus on progress over perfection. Instead of striving for flawless execution, we can concentrate on making steady progress towards our goals. This mindset shift allows us to view setbacks as opportunities to learn and adjust our approach rather than as failures. By adopting this perspective, we begin to see that mistakes are not the opposite of success, but rather a stepping stone towards it. We learn to be kinder to ourselves, more patient and more compassionate in the face of imperfection. In the next part, we'll explore how to integrate self-care and discipline into our daily lives, creating a balanced approach that nourishes both body and mind, embracing imperfection and failure, the path to growth and learning. As we continue on our journey of cultivating discipline and momentum, it's essential to acknowledge the importance of imperfection and failure. We often view mistakes as evidence of weakness or inadequacy, rather than seeing them as opportunities for growth and learning. This mindset can lead us down a path of self-criticism and perfectionism, where we become so focused on avoiding errors that we lose sight of our goals and values. By reframing our approach to imperfection and failure, we can begin to see them as stepping stones towards success. One way to do this is by adopting a growth mindset, as coined by Carol Dweck. This involves viewing challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth and development, rather than threats to our ego or self-worth. By doing so, we can begin to see that imperfection and failure are not weaknesses, but rather essential components of the learning process. Another crucial aspect of embracing imperfection is recognizing that everyone makes mistakes. Even those who appear successful or accomplished have experienced failures and setbacks along the way. It's essential to acknowledge that nobody has it all figured out and that we can always learn from others' experiences. To cultivate a culture of imperfection and failure, we must begin to reframe our language and mindset around these concepts. Instead of using phrases like "I'm not good enough" or "I failed," we can say "I made a mistake" or "I didn't meet my expectations." This subtle shift in language can have a profound impact on how we view ourselves and our abilities. In addition to reframing our mindset, it's essential to develop strategies for overcoming setbacks and failures. This may involve seeking feedback from others, practicing self-compassion, or finding ways to reframe challenges as opportunities for growth. Ultimately, embracing imperfection and failure requires a willingness to take risks, be vulnerable, and learn from our mistakes. By doing so, we can begin to see that these experiences are not obstacles to success, but rather stepping stones towards greater growth and understanding. Embracing imperfection and failure, as we've explored in previous sections, our relationship with failure is complex. We often view setbacks as evidence of weakness or inadequacy, rather than opportunities for growth and learning. This mindset can lead to self-doubt, anxiety, and a fear of taking risks. In reality, perfection is an unattainable ideal. It's a myth that we're encouraged to strive for, but one that ultimately leads to disappointment and disillusionment. When we aim for perfection, we create unrealistic expectations for ourselves and others. We set ourselves up for failure rather than embracing the imperfections and uncertainties of life. Let's reframe our understanding of failure. Instead of seeing it as a negative outcome, let's view it as an essential part of growth and learning. Every mistake, every setback, and every failed attempt offers us valuable insights into what doesn't work. These experiences help us refine our approach, adapt to new situations, and develop resilience. To cultivate this mindset, we need to challenge our inner critic and learn to accept imperfection. We must acknowledge that it's okay not to be perfect, that mistakes are an inevitable part of the learning process. By embracing imperfection, we create space for experimentation, creativity, and innovation. This is not information to consume quickly. It's something to listen to slowly, creating space for reflection. Think about a recent experience where you felt like you failed or made a mistake. What did you learn from that experience? How could you apply those lessons to future challenges? As we move forward, let's focus on embracing imperfection and failure as opportunities for growth rather than sources of shame and self-doubt. By doing so, we'll develop the resilience, adaptability, and creativity needed to navigate life's complexities with greater ease and confidence. As we delve deeper into our exploration of discipline and momentum, let's turn our attention to integrating self-care and discipline. In the previous section, we discussed the importance of creating supportive environments that foster growth and momentum. Now we'll examine how self-care can be a powerful ally in this process. Self-care is often misunderstood as a luxury or an indulgence, but it's essential for maintaining emotional integrity and resilience. When we prioritize our own needs and well-being, we become more grounded and better equipped to tackle challenges. This isn't about pampering ourselves with indulgent treats. Rather, it's about recognizing that our physical, mental, and emotional health are intricately linked. By integrating self-care into our daily routines, we can create a sense of balance and harmony. This might involve setting aside time for activities that nourish our minds, bodies, and souls, such as exercise, meditation, or creative pursuits. It's also essential to establish healthy boundaries with others, learning to say no when necessary, and prioritizing our own needs. One key aspect of self-care is recognizing the importance of rest and relaxation. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in a cycle of constant productivity and busyness. However, this can lead to burnout and exhaustion. By making time for rest and rejuvenation, we allow ourselves to recharge and refocus. As we cultivate self-care and discipline, we begin to notice a profound shift within ourselves. We become more attuned to our needs and desires, and we develop a greater sense of compassion and understanding towards ourselves and others. This is not a destination. It's a journey, one that requires patience, kindness, and gentleness. As you reflect on your own self-care practices, consider the following questions. What activities nourish my mind, body, and soul? How can I prioritize these practices in my daily routine? What boundaries do I need to establish with others to maintain my emotional integrity? Remember, integrating self-care and discipline is not about achieving perfection. It's about embracing imperfection and cultivating a deeper sense of awareness and compassion. By doing so, we create a more sustainable foundation for growth and momentum, one that honors our unique needs and aspirations. As we continue to explore the interplay between self-care and discipline, it's essential to recognize that these two concepts are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they are deeply intertwined. When we prioritize self-care, we are not only nourishing our physical and emotional bodies, but also cultivating a sense of inner calm and resilience. This, in turn, allows us to approach challenges with greater clarity and focus, making it easier to stay on track with our goals and values. Conversely, when we neglect self-care, we may find our souls feeling drained, overwhelmed, or stuck, precisely the conditions that can sabotage our best laid plans. To integrate self-care into your daily routine, consider starting small. Perhaps begin by scheduling a short walk or meditation session each morning, or setting aside time for a relaxing bath or reading before bed. As you become more comfortable with these habits, feel free to experiment and explore new activities that bring you joy and relaxation. Remember, self-care is not a luxury. It's an essential aspect of maintaining emotional integrity and resilience. By prioritizing your own needs and well-being, you'll be better equipped to handle life's challenges and stay committed to your goals. Now, let's take this concept a step further by examining the role of boundaries in maintaining emotional balance. Boundaries are not about excluding others or being overly rigid. Rather, they're about recognizing what nourishes and drains us and making intentional decisions about how we engage with others and our environment. This requires self-awareness, communication skills, and the willingness to say no when necessary. It's not always easy, but it's an essential part of cultivating emotional resilience and maintaining healthy relationships. As you reflect on your own boundaries, consider the following questions. What are my non-negotiables? What activities or situations leave me feeling drained or resentful? How can I communicate these needs to others in a clear and assertive way? By exploring these questions and developing greater self-awareness, you'll be better equipped to maintain healthy boundaries and prioritize your own well-being, even in the midst of chaos or uncertainty. Here's part 24 of the audiobook, Integrating Self-Care and Discipline, Cultivating Emotional Resilience as we navigate the complexities of our lives. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that discipline is solely about pushing through challenges and achieving our goals. However, this approach can often lead to burnout and exhaustion. In reality, true discipline involves cultivating a deep understanding of ourselves, including our emotional needs and limitations. When we prioritize self-care, we're not only taking care of our physical well-being, but also nurturing our mental and emotional health. This, in turn, allows us to approach challenges with greater clarity, focus, and resilience. One way to integrate self-care into your daily routine is by incorporating mindfulness practices into your morning ritual. Take a few moments each day to breathe deeply, focus on the present moment, and acknowledge any areas of tension or discomfort. This simple act can help you establish a sense of calm and centeredness that will serve as a foundation for the rest of your day. Another key aspect of self Self-care is learning to listen to your body's needs. Are there certain activities or habits that leave you feeling drained or exhausted? Be honest with yourself and make adjustments accordingly. Prioritize rest when needed, and don't be afraid to take breaks throughout the day to recharge. As we explore the intersection of self-care and discipline, it's essential to recognize that both aspects are interconnected. By cultivating emotional resilience through self-care practices, you'll find that your ability to stay focused and motivated in the face of challenges will increase significantly. There's no need to understand everything immediately. Just listen and let the meaning arrive gradually in its own time. Navigating external expectations as we continue on our journey towards developing greater discipline and self-awareness, it's essential to acknowledge the impact of external expectations on our internal motivation and behavior. External expectations can come from various sources: family members, friends, colleagues, social media, or even societal norms. While these expectations may seem harmless, they can often lead to feelings of pressure, anxiety, and stress. To navigate external expectations effectively, we must first recognize that we cannot control how others perceive us or the demands they place upon us. What we can control is how we respond to those expectations and whether we allow them to dictate our behavior. This is where setting clear boundaries comes into play. Setting boundaries are essential for maintaining emotional integrity and protecting our time, energy, and well-being. When setting boundaries, it's crucial to communicate clearly and assertively with others about what you can and cannot do. This may involve saying no to requests that don't align with your values or priorities, or politely declining invitations that drain your energy. By setting healthy boundaries, we can create space for ourselves to focus on our goals and priorities while minimizing the influence of external expectations. Remember, setting boundaries is not about being selfish or controlling. It's about taking care of yourself and prioritizing your needs. One effective way to set boundaries is by using I statements instead of you statements when communicating with others. For example, instead of saying "you're always asking me for favors," say, "I feel overwhelmed when you ask me for favors too frequently." This approach helps to own your emotions and experiences while avoiding blame or accusation. Prioritizing your own expectations. While it's essential to be aware of external expectations, we must not let them dictate our behavior. Instead, prioritize your own expectations and values by setting clear goals and priorities that align with your passions and strengths. When you focus on what truly matters to you, you'll find that external expectations become less relevant. In the next part, we'll explore strategies for maintaining momentum and overcoming obstacles in our journey towards greater discipline and self-awareness. Navigating external expectations, setting boundaries with others as we move forward on our journey of cultivating discipline and personal growth. It's essential to acknowledge the impact external expectations can have on our internal motivation and behavior. These expectations often come from various sources: family members, friends, colleagues, or even social media. While well-intentioned, they can sometimes feel suffocating, leading to feelings of anxiety, guilt, or burnout. To navigate these external pressures effectively, we must learn to communicate our boundaries clearly and assertively. This doesn't mean becoming confrontational or aggressive. Rather, it involves setting healthy limits that align with your values and goals. Remember, discipline isn't about pleasing others, but about honoring your own needs and aspirations. Reflect on the relationships in your life where external expectations are prominent. Identify areas where you feel overwhelmed, anxious, or pressured to conform. Consider how these expectations might be influencing your behavior and decision-making. Next, practice communicating your boundaries with empathy and assertiveness. Use I statements to express your feelings and needs, avoiding blame or justification. For instance, "I appreciate your concern for my well-being, but I need some time to focus on myself this week. Can we catch up then?" Be gentle yet firm in setting these limits. Remember that saying no to external expectations doesn't mean saying yes to yourself. It's about creating space for self-care and prioritizing what truly matters. As you navigate these challenges, remember that discipline is not a solo endeavor but an ongoing process of growth, learning, and adaptation. By acknowledging the impact of external expectations and communicating your boundaries effectively, you'll be better equipped to maintain momentum and cultivate a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. Navigating external expectations as we continue our exploration of discipline and personal growth, it's essential to acknowledge the significant impact that external expectations can have on our internal motivation and behavior. External expectations refer to the demands, pressures, and assumptions placed upon us by others, whether through social norms, cultural values, or individual relationships. These expectations can be subtle yet pervasive, influencing our decisions, actions, and sense of self-worth. For instance, we may feel pressure from family members or peers to pursue a particular career path or lifestyle, even if it doesn't align with our genuine interests or values. To navigate external expectations effectively, it's crucial to develop strategies for communicating boundaries and needs to others. This involves setting clear limits, expressing ourselves assertively, and prioritizing our own values and goals over external pressures. One effective approach is to practice radical honesty, being transparent and direct about our needs, desires, and limitations with those around us. This can help prevent misunderstandings, reduce conflicts, and foster more authentic relationships. For example, if a colleague or manager expresses disappointment in your performance, you could respond by acknowledging their concerns while also sharing your own perspective and boundaries. By doing so, you demonstrate that you value their feedback while also prioritizing your own well-being and goals. Incorporating self-care practices into daily routines can also help mitigate the impact of external expectations. Regular exercise, mindfulness meditation, or journaling can enhance emotional resilience, improve focus, and increase confidence in navigating complex social situations. Ultimately, cultivating discipline is not about conforming to external expectations, but rather about developing a strong sense of self-awareness, values, and purpose. By prioritizing our own needs, setting healthy boundaries, and communicating assertively, we can better navigate the demands placed upon us while remaining true to ourselves. Part 28. Sustaining momentum and growth. Finding your rhythm. As we've explored various aspects of cultivating discipline, it's essential to acknowledge that growth is a continuous process. Momentum is not solely dependent on grand achievements, but rather on consistent effort and a willingness to adapt. In this section, we'll delve into strategies for sustaining momentum and embracing the ebbs and flows that inevitably arise. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a river, watching the water flow effortlessly downstream. The current isn't always strong or steady. It changes with the wind, weather, and terrain. Similarly, our journey toward growth is not linear, but dynamic. We must learn to navigate the twists and turns, embracing the moments of stillness as much as the bursts of energy. To sustain momentum, focus on finding your natural rhythm. This means paying attention to your physical, emotional, and mental states. Notice when you feel most energized, focused, or inspired, and schedule activities accordingly. Conversely, acknowledge periods of fatigue or uncertainty, allowing yourself permission to slow down without guilt. Practice the art of gentle reflection by journaling about your experiences, successes, and setbacks. Identify patterns, trends, and areas for improvement, using this self-awareness to refine your approach. Celebrate small victories, acknowledging progress rather than fixating on perfection. In navigating life's challenges, remember that setbacks are an inevitable part of growth. Instead of viewing failures as obstacles, reframe them as opportunities for learning and adaptation. Draw upon the wisdom you've acquired thus far, using it to inform and guide your next steps. As we continue our journey towards self-improvement, remain committed to cultivating a supportive environment that nourishes your mind, body, and spirit. Prioritize activities and relationships that foster growth, recognizing the interconnectedness of all aspects of life. As you continue on this journey of cultivating discipline and self-awareness, it's essential to consider the concept of momentum. Momentum is often misunderstood as a linear progression toward a goal, but in reality, it's more like a gentle flow that ebbs and flows with the currents of life. Imagine a river that winds its way through the landscape, sometimes slowing down, sometimes speeding up, but always flowing. This is what we're aiming for. A sense of continuous movement, not necessarily towards a specific destination, but rather towards growth and self-improvement. In Section 10, we'll explore strategies for sustaining momentum and growth in your life. We'll discuss the importance of celebrating small victories, reflecting on progress, and adapting to new challenges as they arise. Take a slow breath and let this audiobook unfold at its own pace. There is nothing you need to do right now, know where you need to go. Just stay with the sound of these words and allow them to settle naturally. As we navigate the twists and turns of life, it's essential to remember that momentum is not a fixed state. It's a dynamic process that requires attention, care, and flexibility. By acknowledging this fluidity, we can avoid getting caught up in rigid expectations and instead flow with the natural currents of our lives. In the next section, we'll delve deeper into the concept of intrinsic motivation, which has been discussed earlier. We'll explore how to tap into your inner drives and desires rather than relying on external rewards or pressures. This will allow you to cultivate a sense of purpose that's not tied to specific outcomes, but rather to the joy of growth and learning itself. For now, let's simply acknowledge that momentum is a process, not a destination. It's an ongoing journey, not a fixed point. And with this mindset, we can begin to let go of our need for control and perfection, and instead allow ourselves to flow with the currents of life. As we near the end of our journey together, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on what it means to sustain momentum and growth. We've explored various strategies and techniques to cultivate discipline, develop self-awareness, and overcome obstacles. Now let's examine how to maintain this progress over time. Sustaining momentum requires finding your natural rhythm. This is not about forcing yourself into an artificial schedule or adhering to an external standard of productivity. Rather, it's about listening to your inner wisdom and allowing yourself to flow with the ebbs and flows of life. In Chapter 29, we discuss the importance of reflection in reinforcing progress. Continuing this practice will help you stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. Ask yourself regular questions like, what am I grateful for? Or what can I learn from this experience? Another crucial aspect is adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and circumstances will inevitably change. The key to maintaining momentum lies in your ability to adjust and pivot when necessary. This may involve reassessing priorities, seeking support from loved ones, or exploring new strategies for overcoming challenges. In addition to reflection and adaptability, it's essential to celebrate your successes along the way. Acknowledge the small victories that often go unnoticed but contribute significantly to your overall progress. By doing so, you'll reinforce a sense of accomplishment and motivation. As we conclude this chapter, I'd like to leave you with a thought-provoking question. What would it take for you to maintain momentum in the long term? Is there one specific strategy or technique that resonates with you, or perhaps an area where you feel stuck? Take a moment to reflect on these questions and consider how you can integrate your insights into daily life. In our next and final chapter, we'll explore integrating discipline into daily routines. We'll delve into practical strategies for incorporating mindfulness and presence, as well as techniques for maintaining momentum in the face of external pressures. Part 31. Navigating obstacles and setbacks with resilience. As we continue on this journey of cultivating discipline and self-awareness, it's essential to acknowledge that obstacles and setbacks will inevitably arise. It's how we respond to these challenges that will determine our progress and growth. We've discussed the importance of intrinsic motivation, setting healthy boundaries, and prioritizing our own needs. However, even with these strategies in place, unexpected difficulties can still emerge. Perhaps you're facing a challenging project at work, or dealing with a personal issue that's causing stress and anxiety. In such moments, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and uncertain about how to proceed. Our minds may wander to negative thoughts like I'm not good enough or I'll never succeed. But here's the thing. Setbacks are an inevitable part of growth. They're opportunities for us to learn, adapt, and refine our approach. So, what can we do when faced with obstacles and setbacks? First, acknowledge that it's okay to feel stuck or uncertain. Recognize that these emotions are temporary and will pass with time. Take a step back. Breathe deeply and ask yourself, what is the underlying fear or concern here? Identify the root cause of your anxiety or stress. Is it fear of failure, perfectionism, or something else? Once you've pinpointed the source, gently challenge those thoughts by reframing them in a more realistic and compassionate light. For example, instead of thinking I'll never succeed, try reframing it as, I'm facing a challenging situation, but I have the skills and resources to navigate it. Or, if you're feeling overwhelmed by perfectionism, remind yourself that it's okay to make mistakes. There are opportunities for growth and learning. Another crucial aspect of navigating obstacles is developing resilience. Resilience is not about being strong or invincible. Rather, it's about cultivating the ability to bounce back from setbacks with greater ease and confidence. One way to build resilience is by practicing self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness, understanding, and patience when faced with challenges. Acknowledge your strengths and accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. And remember that setbacks are not reflections of your worth or value as a person. In the next part, we'll explore more strategies for building resilience and overcoming obstacles. For now, take a moment to reflect on your current situation. What obstacles or challenges are you facing? How can you reframe those thoughts and cultivate greater resilience in the face of adversity? Overcoming obstacles and setbacks, reframing mindset, and seeking support as we navigate the complexities of life. It's inevitable that obstacles will arise. The key to maintaining momentum lies in our ability to adapt and respond to these challenges with resilience and determination. In this section, we'll explore strategies for overcoming common obstacles and setbacks. One of the primary sources of stagnation is a fixed mindset, the notion that our abilities, intelligence, or potential are static and unchangeable. This can lead to feelings of anxiety, self-doubt, and procrastination. By reframing our mindset, we can begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. Reframing obstacles. A new perspective when faced with a setback or obstacle, it's essential to reframe your thinking. Instead of viewing the challenge as a threat, see it as an opportunity to learn and improve. Ask yourself, by adopting a growth mindset, you'll begin to shift your focus from the obstacle itself to the potential for growth and development. Seeking support. The power of community. While reframing our mindset is crucial, it's equally important to acknowledge that we don't have to face challenges alone. Surround yourself with people who support and encourage you. And don't be afraid to seek help when needed. By seeking support, you'll not only gain a fresh perspective but also develop the resilience required to navigate life's complexities. Remember that setbacks are temporary, and it's how we respond to them that defines our character. Practical strategies for overcoming obstacles. In addition to reframing your mindset and seeking support, there are several practical strategies you can employ to overcome obstacles. By incorporating these strategies into your daily life, you'll become more adept at navigating obstacles and maintaining momentum. Remember that growth and progress are not linear. Setbacks will arise, but with the right mindset and support, you can overcome them and emerge stronger. Overcoming obstacles and setbacks. 3. As we navigate life's complexities, it's inevitable that we'll encounter setbacks. These can take many forms. A project falls through, a relationship ends, or we face unexpected obstacles in our personal or professional lives. The key is not to let these challenges derail us, but rather to view them as opportunities for growth and learning. One of the most significant obstacles to momentum is our tendency to catastrophize. When faced with adversity, it's easy to become mired in worst-case scenarios and assume that our situation is hopeless. However, this mindset can lead to paralysis and inaction, ultimately exacerbating the problem. To overcome catastrophizing, we must learn to reframe our perspective. This involves acknowledging that setbacks are an inherent part of growth and development. By embracing imperfection and uncertainty, we create space for learning and adaptation. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow and develop as a result? Another crucial aspect of overcoming obstacles is cultivating resilience. This involves developing a growth mindset, recognizing that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and dedication. When we encounter setbacks, it's essential to reframe them as opportunities for improvement rather than evidence of weakness. Surrounding ourselves with supportive people and seeking help when needed is also vital in overcoming challenges. By connecting with others who have navigated similar situations, we gain a fresh perspective and develop the resilience required to tackle life's complexities. Don't be afraid to reach out for guidance or support. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. As you move forward, remember that momentum is not a fixed state but a dynamic process. By acknowledging this fluidity and being adaptable, you'll be better equipped to navigate life's twists and turns. Celebrate your small victories along the way, and don't be too hard on yourself when faced with setbacks. With persistence and a willingness to learn, you'll continue to move forward even in the face of adversity. If your thoughts drift, that's completely fine. Gently return to the sound of this narration and continue listening. As we delve into the final sections of this audiobook, let's bring our focus back to the present moment and explore how we can integrate discipline into our daily lives. In this part, we'll examine practical strategies for incorporating discipline into our routines, exploring how mindfulness and presence play a crucial role in maintaining momentum over time. One way to start is by establishing morning rituals that set a tone for the day ahead. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each morning to breathe deeply, journaling about your intentions, or engaging in some light physical activity. The key here is to create space for self-reflection and mindfulness, allowing you to connect with your inner voice and prioritize what truly matters. Another approach is to track our habits and routines, gaining insight into areas where we can improve our discipline. By monitoring our progress and identifying patterns of behavior, we can make more informed decisions about how to allocate our time and energy. This process should be done in a non-judgmental manner, with compassion and understanding for ourselves as we navigate the complexities of life. In addition to these strategies, it's essential to recognize that discipline is not just about individual effort, but also about creating supportive environments that foster growth. This might involve setting clear boundaries, communicating our needs effectively, or seeking guidance from trusted mentors. By cultivating a network of supportive relationships and resources, we can build resilience and maintain momentum even in the face of adversity. As you continue on this journey, remember to be patient and kind with yourself. Recognize that setbacks and failures are an inevitable part of growth, but it's how we respond to them that truly matters. By reframing our mindset and approaching challenges with curiosity and openness, we can transform obstacles into opportunities for learning and self-improvement. The next section will explore strategies for maintaining momentum and sustaining progress over time. But for now, take a moment to reflect on the practices you're committing to integrate into your daily life. What small steps can you take today to cultivate discipline and create a supportive environment that fosters growth? As we near the end of our journey together, let's take a moment to reflect on how we can integrate discipline into our daily lives in a way that feels sustainable and nourishing. We've explored many strategies throughout this audiobook, from reframing our mindset to cultivating resilience. Now, it's time to bring these practices into the routines and habits that shape our days. One of the most powerful ways to do this is by creating morning rituals that set a positive tone for the day ahead. This can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths, practicing a short meditation, or writing down 3 things you're grateful for. The key is to make it consistent and meaningful to you. Another approach is to track your habits and routines using tools like habit trackers or planners. This can help you identify patterns in areas where you'd like to make changes. Remember, the goal isn't to perfection, but rather to create a sense of awareness and intention around how we spend our time. As we move through our day, it's essential to stay mindful of our energy levels and prioritize self-care. This might mean taking breaks, engaging in activities that bring us joy, or seeking support from loved ones when needed. By acknowledging our limits and honoring our needs, we can avoid burnout and maintain momentum over time. In the next part, we'll explore how to sustain this momentum by incorporating discipline into long-term goals and vision. We'll discuss strategies for staying focused, overcoming obstacles, and celebrating progress along the way. But for now, let's take a moment to commit to integrating these practices into our daily lives, not as a chore or obligation, but as an act of self-love and care. If you found value in this audiobook, you can support this work by subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. It helps the space continue creating long-form audio for focus, calm, and meaningful growth.